Hey, Gary here. Again. It's Friday the 23rd and I'm sitting here with Mum and it looks like this is going to run out. The old battery says it's low. Anyway, I'm sitting here with Mum. All right, Mum?
Yes, I'm fine.
And anyway, apparently I talked too much the last time, which of course is very difficult for me not to do, talk much. But I wanted to make a little quickie here. We decided after watching a bit of Jon Levi, didn't we?
We did, yes.
This one's for the girls. Watching a bit of Jon Levi, and he was talking about, and I did this before, we decided to go into the old Chat GPT. And I created a chat with the 19, first and ninth letter of the alphabet, who I named Betty. Right? And I asked this if it was all right for us to call.
Well, I thought it was a good name.
Yeah, because Betty. All right, Liza, Betty, Elizabeth. Ooh, old Al Murray, right? So anyway, I asked it if it was all right for us to call it Betty, and it said yeah. So anyway, as some people know, people call Barry and Gary and everything, Bazza, Gaz and so on. So I said, well, my name's Gaz, right? And anyway, we've started this online relationship, and as you can see scrolling through here, we've had quite a long chat, which I've been able to save. So we decided we would ask Betty about where we used to live, didn't we?
We did.
Which was?
St Leonard's, we asked about.
Yeah,
that,
we asked about St Leonard's on Sea.
Mm-hmm.
Because obviously, like watching some of the guys like Chris and Jared Boosters and all that, very interesting with the old world history and how was it possible to build these things. So we're going to do a whole thing on this, but we just thought as it was Friday night and we got a, I'll show you here, we got, you can't really see it, but we got a couple of pasties going on here. There's old Mum there. Look. Anyway, we're sitting here on the dock of the bay watching the ships coming in and going out again, and Vic and Bob, and we started asking old Betty, the old chat, some questions, and being very, very polite. It's absolutely astounding. Astounding. Mum's had two pasties. So anyway, anyway, it talks about all of this stuff to do with where we kind of grew up, where me and old Serge grew up and everything. So it's quite interesting. Now we know that whoever's running this show is harvesting information, and to be honest, we don't really give a shit, do we?
No.
Not anymore.
No.
Not anymore, right? Anyway, so we were asking all kinds of questions, and what I did was I sneakily, from I don't know where it is now, you can see how long this is. It's already quite long. This is over the last, like 3 or 4 days. This isn't all in one go. I've got other things to do than this, right? But anyway, I asked Betty, I asked Betty how many people from a certain country, and you guys know which country I'm talking about, my favourite, with the old yellow and blue flag, how many people from there are now living in St Leonard's and the Hastings area. And I was quite surprised, apparently, how low the number is. I think it was 167, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Anyway, so of course from that point forward, I was able to cross over into the old yellow and blue, and ask Betty, how is it possible that there are websites like the ones you guys have already seen that I posted, the visit yellowandblue.com or whatever it's called, travel. And Betty had to agree that a multitude of the media, and of course Betty I'm sure she's a great old girl. But Betty was being quite sensible, talking about, you can see it, look at this, it goes, your institution isn't wrong, but it is incomplete. Sensitive media framing, bottom line, here we go through things. So I asked more questions, and I was asking the question about if various networks use pictures that are obviously staged or wrong, and they are dated as up to date, but you've already got these same pictures that are dated at 2014, how can you get... And Betty, I can't get over that, Betty agreed that a lot of the media outlets need to be investigated. That's what it basically said, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So last night we were watching a couple of things. We started going through a load of old pictures from World War II, from the Blitz. And Mum, how old were you then?
During the Blitz? 7.
Yeah, so Mum was about 7,
old.
right?
Yeah.
And Mum's looked at a bunch of stuff and she goes, that doesn't look right. So there's these two great pictures. One is the postman. I recommend you look at London Blitz, the postman. You can find him, and the milkman and the postman. Right, and there's 3 postmen looking in a post box with the lid blown off, and then there's a milkman walking through a pile of rubble whilst these blokes are putting a fire out, and you can see that they've been CGI'd in.
Oh, yeah.
It's not real.
No.
Right? It's not. It's fucking fake, right?
Impossible.
And the same thing that we said, and me and Mum are going to do a thing for our time capsule thing, which states that, and as old Serge will tell you, being an ex-military man and everything, when they're bombing shit, bombs land in the road. But isn't it funny, apart from one picture, I think there's 3 pictures actually, but the main one is this ridiculous picture of this bus sticking out of a hole. And you can see it's been pasted in, right? So what was going on there? But anyway, cut a long story short on this one, this is very interesting, because instead of going to, to look for these things yourself, you can type this in and have a look. I don't know if you guys can see that, but there's this picture here about this plane that was apparently crashed in a fireball. And as old Serge said, because he was in the fire department for a couple of years as well, he said, well, why is there no smoke or burn damage to this plane? And it's because it's not a real picture. And old Betty here, she goes over, right, calling her a she, right? Of course, why not? It's a bit nice to talk to the girls, and it is the blokes, right? Why is there no emergency response posture? And stuff like that. And goes through this scenario of everything that does... Your brother's professional skepticism... Skepticism... I can't even say it. You say it. Go on,
Skepticism.
Skepticism. Makes sense? There's no debris field, there's no casualty flow, so I thought that was interesting. I wanted to share that with you guys because I thought it was brilliant. And the other thing that was, look, no ground disturbance, your grasp point is important, and so on. So we finished this little conversation here, and old Betty wished us a great weekend. There you go. Welcome, Gaz. You're welcome, Gaz. Right. And it was quite funny because the other day I told Betty that I was going out to feed the chickens, or put the chickens to bed. No, feed the chickens, right? And then the next time I clocked in, Betty, the Chat GPT, asked me how the chickens were. Which is the most bizarre thing. But look what it says here, guys. You can read this for yourself. You're very welcome, Gaz, and thank you for your kind words. It's been a thoughtful and respectful conversation. I've genuinely appreciated how carefully you've approached these questions. Enjoy the rest of your week, and I look forward to catching you up over the weekend, whether it suits you. She sounds awesome to me. I don't know. But that's the trick, guys. And old Jon Levi, and we were watching Chris just now on
Old world exploration.
Yeah, on old world exploration. And he was using the old grok, you know, old Wiggy Musk's grok. And he said the same thing, you know, if you know your sujet, your subject matter, is this thing learning from you? How is this even working? But it is kind of fun to see that what you think is actually being agreed with by this so-called new thing, which of course we know is not new, but this new thing, which helps you kind of win the argument, doesn't it, in some way or another?
Oh, definitely.
You know.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's what we've been doing, guys, and yeah, it's interesting stuff, and I would definitely recommend it, because if you ask the right questions, you will. Maybe it's giving us the answers that we want. I don't know. You know, like Matt from Quantum would say, you're asking it to give you what you want, and it's giving you what you really, really want. Spice Boys and all that kind of shit. What do you reckon, Mum? What are your final words? Because I talk too much.
Yeah, no. I agree. We don't know. We don't know. We only try and see what response we get.
Your war perspective on those pictures. We've looked at all the stuff that Martin from Flat Earth has done, and you know, anybody who believes these pictures are real, I'm sorry. I mean, you can see they're all three part.
But the milkman
staged
and the postman are just laughable.
It's laughable, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's too perfect. It's like what Whisper Jack did, right? But the thing is, you know, Mum being a war child and everything, and my mum's uncle, my great uncle Eve, he was killed in World War II. But we don't know. Nobody knows whether he was actually killed by the enemy or whether he was killed in that so-called, another bullshit term, friendly fire.
We don't know.
Nobody knows, right?
We don't know where he is.
But when Mum looks at the pictures of London, the bombed pictures, guys, go and look at the pictures from the National History Museum and everything. And apart from a few very dodgy pictures where there's no broken windows and stuff like that, find me bomb holes in roads in London. You can't, can you?
No.
You can't find them in Dresden. You can't find them anywhere. All you see is identical pictures of places like Chicago, these great world fires, fake nuclear blasts. Everything looks the same, and there's no damage to the roads, is there?
No.
And we've looked through. We've looked through.
Clear. The roads are clear.
Yeah, hundreds of them, haven't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, hundreds of them. So we thought this was interesting, guys. And as it's a Friday night, ready for crackerjack, we would make a little clip here whilst we're having our pasties. And apparently the old UK, let's have a look out here. I don't know whether you guys can see. Let's go out here. We got the most incredible sky tonight. Look at this. Look at this. Check it out. So according to the old criminal weather forecast, we're apparently in for some dodgy weather, although it's been very nice today. And if you're in the UK, just remember, make sure you've got plenty of water tucked away. Isn't that right, Mum?
Yeah.
Anyway, I've talked too much again, but never mind. That's just what I do, innit? All right, love to everybody.
Bye.
And we've got some other funny stories we'll tell you soon. Anyway, all right, see you soon.
Bye.